Hey Moon Magic Super Souls, welcome to your readings today. Today we are asking, what is the future of this connection? And we are also asking about the karmic, sort of fated destiny element of this relationship. Now this can be any relationship. It can be a colleague, a friend, a family member. It could be the love of your life. It could be a working situation, home, family, anything, any relationship. And as you are tuning in with the cards and the crystals that we have today, I would suggest keeping that person in mind so that you can really sort of tune into their energy and the kind of energy that is sitting between you. So it's going to be an interesting way that we're going to read. We'll be looking at the connection between you, looking at the fated karmic elements. I'm going to be drawing a card for each of you, for them and for you, and just looking at how that works. We may even get a conversation happening between the two cards. We'll just go with this and see what unfolds. So welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you if you are returning. Welcome if you're new. Thank you so much, all of you. And don't forget to subscribe and press the little bell icon if you want to make sure you never miss a reading as soon as I upload. So let's see where this goes. Let me show you the cards in detail and the crystals. So pile 1, you have the 19th path. This is strength / lust. So this is the 19th path, strength and lust. And this is with angelite, beautiful piece of natural angelite. This is what the rock looks like on the outside. And this is what it looks like on the inside. Isn't that beautiful? So that is pile 1. How did we have that? There we go. Pile 1. Pile 2. You have the personality triangle. This is for pile 2. And this is with a lovely, beautiful piece of carnelian. Okay, this is what it looks like. Completely raw, natural crystal as it comes out of the ground. You can see the outside of it. So that's pile 2. And pile 3, you have the 11th path of the Fool. So this is for pile 3. And pile 3 is sitting with a beautiful piece of blue calcite. Now let me show you this again. It's interesting. Each of these crystals today has sort of something of the outside of the rock on them as well as the inside. Isn't that interesting? I wonder what relevance that has to our readings. Perhaps we're going to look inside a relationship today. I guess that might be something of the purpose. I really debated today about which crystals to use. It was really interesting how my mind was sort of taken into sort of various different ways. In the end, I dowsed what to use actually. So we have blue calcite for pile 3. Okay. So beautiful souls, I'm going to leave the video running for a little bit longer just in case you need a bit more time. You may find yourself drawn to more than one reading. Now, if this happens and you only have a person in mind, it may be that there is more than one message coming through about that person. If you want to ask about more than one person, then I would really get focused on that person, one at a time. So your energy is really kind of in the zone of that particular person and see which of the crystals or cards is speaking to you, and then sort of go away and almost sort of let go, shake it off, and then come back again if you've got a different person that you wish to ask about as well. Beautiful souls, thank you for being here, and I will see you in the readings in just a moment. Pile 1, welcome to your reading. Now you have the 19th path, strength, lust. This is about defending the weak, peacekeeping and sincerity. Now, what I'm going to do initially is draw 2 cards, one for each of you. Now, you may find that you really strongly identify with one and that the other card is clearly the other person. If you kind of feel like it's a bit of a mix or match, you could be either, they could be either. It probably just means that you're mirroring something within each other. But we're going to draw a card for each of you. This is kind of the energy. We're using your significator card as a card that is the energy between you. And what I would say from this is that I think you seriously sing on the same page. Whatever this kind of relationship is, I would almost see it as quite a power couple. I think there's an incredible, it's like there's a drive between you, strength and lust. I mean, there's definitely chemistry. And there's, this is like a power element. If this is a working relationship, the chemistry may be the passion that you share for a cause. But there is definitely, a really, really strong connection between you. So one of you is the comic, or has the energy, and the other has the energy of the maiden. Okay, this is very interesting. The comic and the maiden. Look at the energy between you. I mean, even these cards have just like lit up. The space is lighting up. You kind of, I think this is for both of you. I think your connection and the chemistry between you is such that, when you kind of like when this person walks into the room, you light up. And they light up. There's something here that it's quite pure as well with the maiden. There's quite a purity and innocence in your connection, actually. Now, I'm going to draw from this little pack of cards just to see. I'm going to draw a card for each of you, actually, from this. So I'm saying this one and this one. Now, I always list all the cards below. But these cards are not actually available, they're just not. They're not out in the world. So these ones won't be listed, but all the others will be. Okay. Okay. This is really, really interesting. So you have Kachina, and you have one of you. The comic has Kachina, and the maiden has the spider. Now Kachina is it's kind of like the devil on one, is it your devil or is it your angel? Like the devil on one shoulder, the angel on the other. Under the comic, I think one of you has quite a good front. Like when you have the ability to kind of like, there's massive depth there, but the ability to kind of be quite charismatic and kind of present a face to the world, to laugh it off. We see comedians in the world. Very often comedians, stand-up comics, have, not always come from the easiest of backgrounds, and yet their humour has been their way of navigating something. I think the comic is really quite charismatic. I'm not necessarily suggesting they're a comedian, but I think that they actually have a remarkable depth of seeing. With the cats, these big eyes looking at us. So we have someone who's very charismatic, not necessarily a comedian, but I do think someone who understands the nature of the shadows as well as the light. In a way, that's part of their strength. Now, the other person here is much more, I would almost say possibly younger. Now, when I say younger, this could be younger at a level of soul. This is an old soul. The comic is an old soul. The maiden, I think, is a young soul, somebody who's younger in their journey. In many ways, curiously enough, I think the comic possibly has a slightly greater leadership role, actually, here. I mean, this is a connection that works. I think karmically you've possibly come here to do something together. You've come here to meet and to do something together. I'm seeing the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Now that's non-gender specific. However you identify, we all have the masculine and the feminine within us. I think you've come here to do a piece of work. Even with the angelite, I feel like it's guided. Spider is about protection. And it is actually about fate and destiny. The web is being woven. So I think in a way you possibly have known each other before in a past life. However you look at it, I suspect that the comic person, the older soul, is very much a guide to the younger soul. I think the younger soul, whether that is you or the other person, feels incredibly safe around this person. It's part of the attraction, actually, is that they are, I think part of this attraction is, for the maiden, is that the comic has a wisdom and a depth. And actually, for all the ability to laugh at things and that kind of, having ways of navigating the world, I think that there is real depth and real wisdom. This is somebody who has not been afraid to walk into the shadows and comes out shining. Now the maiden is very, very, I think the maiden is quite drawn to the comic, but there's definitely a chemistry between you both. This is absolutely a card of complete and utter protection, and that the web of destiny, of fate, is being woven right at this time. I would say that the maiden is inexplicably drawn to the comic. I suspect quite a lot of people are inexplicably drawn to the comic, actually. I think there's something about this person that is charismatic. But I think there is work to do together. Now, whether this is a love relationship or a different kind of connection, karmically, you've come here to do something. Let's draw another card and find out. Let's draw another card between you. Finding love, spouse, lover, okay. Well, in that case, I am going to say that I suspect that this is actually a love connection. And whether this is I'm just going to move this up, so find somewhere to put our crystal here, because I want this to come into our space. I think there is real love here. Finding love, spouse, lover. Yeah, I think there is absolute real love here. It could be a purity of love, as in, if this is a friendship. I think if it's a friendship, it could well develop into more. And yeah, if this is a love relationship, then this was meant to be. Absolutely meant to be. But I think if this is purely friendship, if this is in the early stages, there is just such a pull together. I mean, it really is quite extraordinary. There's a dynamic between you. Okay, so this looks to be a love connection. Let's draw some tarot cards and find out about a bit more. I mean, it may be that you're meant to be one of those really enlightened couples that sort of like radiate amazingness into the world and are very, very inspirational for people. There could be an age difference between you, not just at a level of soul, but there could be an age difference between you. Let's find out more information. How is this connection going to pan out? Let's draw some cards and see what we are shown. How is this connection going to emerge, pan out? How is this going to flow? We've got the Empress showing itself. Okay. Okay, I'm going to draw those as well. I feel these are coming through as well, but I'm going to put them over here because I also want to know, what's the sort of the purpose as well. So I want to know, how is it going to emerge and what's the purpose? A lot of cards coming through for you. Wow. Okay, let's see what we have here. So we have the Empress as a starting point here. So I feel, how is it going to emerge? I'm going to say it needs to be nurtured. This is not a relationship to rush. I suspect that the comic, because there's a wisdom here, will sort of know this. I think this would be somebody who'd have the wisdom to be able to sort of keep it at an appropriate sort of pace. But look at this, we have the Magician. Now the Magician is a card of chemistry, of alchemy. So I think this is going to, I don't think this is going to be a fast moving relationship, interestingly enough. I think it's, or certainly in the early stages from now, I think it's going to evolve, emerge, as it should. It needs to be sort of discovered. We have the Seven of Cups, which is interesting. And then we have the Four of Pentacles. Okay. Where are we? Let's just move these up. So, Empress, Magician, Seven of Cups, Four of Pentacles. We also have the Five of Wands. And we have the Three of Wands. Okay. I think the way that this connection is going to emerge, I suspect it involves quite a lot of significant choices. It's quite interesting. There's definitely a future to this connection. You know, it's about finding love, that there is a purity of connection. It may even be that with the Comic and the Maiden, you have to sort of find almost your collective shared vocation. Be interesting to see what these cards show us. But I think the way, the future, there definitely is a future, because we've got the Three of Wands. We see her looking ahead. I almost feel as though you've got to define it. You've kind of got to discover, you've got to define what the future is. It's like going on a journey together. And I think there may be some really significant choices. I mean, for example, what if there was not that there should be any issues with it at all, but what if there's a massive age difference? You know, not just as a level of soul. This is just an example. I feel that there is something within the circumstances of this connection whereby, or maybe you've both had experiences that were difficult, and therefore you're really not exactly uncertain. I think you both want love, but at the same time, you know, you're fearful of making the same mistakes, doing, you know, or something going wrong again. And so I'm seeing lots of choices here and lots of deliberations going on here with the Seven of Cups. With the Four of Pentacles, I think you'll need to not hold on to some things that you thought were set in stone. I mean, maybe one of you has to relocate, for example. Maybe one of you would have to relocate, or maybe you have to let go of expectations or perceptions. For example, if there's a massive age difference, it shouldn't make a blind bit of difference, but, you know, perhaps it feels like it does, or there are people around you that might, almost, I want to say there's a competitive edge here with the Five of Wands. You know, maybe I feel like there's a complication, or there's something that makes this not as straightforward as you might want it to be. So this doesn't feel like you know, you meet, the chemistry's there, instant love, off you sail into the sunset. There are things that have to be navigated in this connection in order to then kind of define the future, to look ahead. There may even actually be, looking at the Three of Wands, there could even be a coming together and then a separation, a period of separation. And that may be, if you've come together and you've met and you're currently in a period of separation, that might actually be part of, you know, what we're being shown here. So I just feel I want to put this on the top here so we can see it more visibly. Bear with me. My apologies as I move all the cards around, but for some reason I just want this, I want the cards to be really prominent here so we can see them. But this is about love. I'm going to ask about the destiny here, the sort of the fate, the destiny, the purpose. And we'll just follow this through. Let's just follow it through and see what we're shown. So I'll move the Maiden for a moment. Just put the Maiden down here so we can lay these cards out. Okay, so the purpose, the fated destiny, the karma of this. So we've got the Knight of Swords. We've got the Ace of Swords. And then we have the Fool. this is very, very fascinating. Then we have the Nine of Swords. We have the Death and Rebirth. Well, you've got the Fool and then the Death and Rebirth card. I mean, these are big, big, big cards. We've then got the Three of Pentacles. Okay, we'll put you back up there. Lovely maiden. Okay. Right. I feel that logically you know, it's as I said, that there's something here between you that feels like it's not exactly a hiccup, but something that has to be kind of worked through or overcome. Logically, I think you know what you want. Logically, it feels right. And there is this sense of just wanting to launch into this. I think the fated purpose of this in many ways is potentially to challenge, because we have the Nine of Wands, is to deal with, to sort of overcome something. Perhaps it's to overcome people's fixed state of mind. Nine of Swords, to overcome, to be different. Look at this one white crow amidst all of the others. It's like dare to be different. Dare to step out of the box. We are upgrading humanity, and this is a couple that upgrades. You know, I think you are a beacon of light. Very interesting in this card. We see like this little barred window with the light coming through, almost as if they are caged. Defending the weak, peacekeeping, sincerity. This is about being able to be you. I feel as a couple, you are very different. And yet you totally sing on the same page. The chemistry's there, the connection is mind-blowing. But there is something of tradition or circumstances or something around you that would be unusual or wouldn't fit with the expectations of your immediate communities. But it's interesting, I think part of what you're doing is opening communities up to difference. I think you just by being so amazing, it's not without its challenges, but I also don't see them as being massively insurmountable. You know, we have the Nine of Wands here. I mean, this is a card where, you know, actually you're kind of reaching the final hurdle, you know, in a way. And we have the Four of Swords. So, I mean, it may be as well that, I was thinking this with the bars, that it might almost be initially that the relationship is quite, and this could be where you're at the moment, is not exactly underground. But you see, I think this is the kind of relationship that would once have been underground. It almost kind of makes me feel a bit like, I mean, if you think back to our relatively near history, and, you know, I'm not going to dive into any kind of political statements in our current climate, but, you know, not a million years ago, you know, so let's say if I base this in the UK here, not a million years ago, you know, if you were gay, you could be arrested for that. You know, it was literally against the law. I'm not going to go into any current politics, but I feel that you defy something here. And it's something that would once have been, you might have had to have gone underground, or you might once have been locked up for it. I mean, this looks like they're in a cage, and yet the light is streaming through. This is love in its most amazing form. If this is not a love relationship, although it largely looks as though it is, you know, with spouse-lover, it couldn't be clearer. But for anyone where it isn't, it may be that you really are protecting, collectively, you protect the underdog, literally, you protect those who are trying to be different, who want to be different, who are different, and why shouldn't they be? What we see with the King of Pentacles is a great deal of success, and real success. And I love the fact that with this King of Pentacles has a wolf. This is like two lone wolves coming together. And because you're singing on the same page, you know, and at a level of soul, you've come here. with this. This is your purpose. You've come here to dare to be different and to boldly go into territory where within the circles of people around you, it would not be either approved of or deemed acceptable, or there's something you have to overcome. Now that will be unique to you, but that's the purpose. The purpose of this is it's like to establish it's almost like your civil rights to be together. Now, so there's a lot of deliberating going on as this progresses, and I think it's not because there's any denial of the chemistry or the feelings between you, but it's almost like deliberating and navigating this, which is part of the purpose of it. Deliberating and navigating this so that you can openly be here, and that's what this connection is about. I'm going to draw a few more cards to see how it further unfolds. I was about to use the same tarot pack, but I think I'm going to get a different pack actually. Okay, let's draw some cards just to find out how this progresses. What is the future of this connection? How does this progress? What is the future of this connection? I think that's it. What is the future of this connection? We've got 2 of Pentacles. We've got Ace of Pentacles. We've got Knight of Pentacles, and we have the Lovers. Okay. How beautiful. Love it. Okay. Look at this. Can you believe this? My beautiful pile 1. This is one of those you couldn't write it moments. Look at this. What did I say about 2 lone wolves coming together? And look what is represented in the Lovers card. 2 wolves. Wow, 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 wow. And even more wow. Beautiful souls. That is stunning. Stunning, stunning, stunning. Okay, what is the future of this connection? Absolutely, I think this has a really long-term future. I think it will move forwards and you will get what you desire. You will end up... I suspect there will be quite a lot of practical stuff that you have to sort out. You may even work together. It may be... maybe that's part of the deal as well. Perhaps that's part of the difficulty. If you work together... and there's lots of complexities. Or what if, for example, one of you is the lawyer? Let's say, what if the comic is the lawyer and they are representing the maiden, but the chemistry's there, you're falling in love? Well, that would be a no-no. That would be a big no-no. What if the comic is the therapist and they fall in love with, actually there are really, really, really strict boundaries around this, and appropriately so. I know in my own sort of profession as a therapist, there are really strict, but it's acknowledged that this can happen, but actually there are really strict boundaries, like you end your professional relationship and you kind of part company and you give yourselves a really, really good amount of time apart, completely apart, in order to see whether, and then you come back together and see whether that is still there and whether it feels right for you to appropriately continue in your own right as 2 people, having separated and had a really good amount of time apart. It would be the same if the lawyer was representing the client. There could be a professional thing here, but there's something here. Anyway, whatever that is, I think you're going to come together. I think you will climb that mountain. You're going to get to where you need to be. Steady, and perhaps that's why we have the Empress as well. It's steady growth. The 2 of Pentacles is lovely because it means that what you need will come to you in order for this to be guided and for this to happen. So this is just lovely, absolutely lovely and absolutely delightful. This will move forwards. I love that we have this sort of like sacred geometry symbols here. They are here in the Lovers. They're standing on this in the Knight of Pentacles and in the Ace of Pentacles. You know, we've got, and isn't it interesting, of course, what we're actually seeing here in both of the pentacles is, of course, the Venus star. I think there will be possibly time, a period where lots of choices and certain circumstances have to be navigated, basically, whatever those circumstances are for you. As they are navigated, and I do think maybe with some time apart and some deliberation, I think you will get to the end goal. You'll get to the finish line. I think you will come together. I think this will be an extremely successful and amazing relationship, a marriage perhaps for many of you. I think this is absolutely, but there is something around you that makes it a sort of a, we're not supposed to go there. As I said, I've wandered into the territory of various scenarios, but that is what I'm seeing here. But you will get there, absolutely. This is showing every signs of coming together and just of being a really, really amazing connection. And that's part of the purpose, is it's like demonstrating that this can happen. A bit like, you know, the lawyer and the whatever the circumstances you're in, whatever the challenge that needs to be overcome, part of the fate and the karmic destiny is to demonstrate that this can be overcome and that love, you know, love wins the day. I mean, that's the deal here. I think your reading is amazing. And I am sending you both my biggest hugs ever. And do please invite me to the wedding. I shall save up and buy a hat. Anyway, beautiful souls, tons and tons of love. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. It really helps the channel. And thank you for letting people know about the readings and the channel. You know, the more people that know, the more people can benefit, hopefully, from the readings if they resonate. And that helps me to keep putting free stuff into the world. Thank you also, all of you who've signed up to my tarot course. I'm just thrilled to have you on board. Tons of love to you all, and I look forward to seeing you again for some other readings really, really soon. Hey, pile 2, welcome to your reading. So the way we are going to do this is the energy. Your significator card is the energy between you. You have the personality triangle, personality, nature, mindfulness. I'm also seeing here we've got the moon with Venus and Mercury, and carnelian, as well as your kind of crystal, your stone. Now I'm going to draw 2 cards that are representing you both. Now you may resonate more with one than the other. One may be you, one may be the other, one will be the other person. If you feel that it's a kind of a mix and match, and it could be either, what that's probably telling you is that there's a very similar energy in you both, or maybe you are mirroring something between one another. So let's sing this one and also this one. Let's see what these 2 cards are for yourself and the other person. Okay, so we have the castle, okay, and then we have the ring. Okay, right, so what I see here already between you is that one of you is very committed to moving forwards, and the other one is a bit stuck in their ways. Okay, I think the castle energy, you know, in a way, a castle is a really amazing, that could be like the dream, couldn't it? You know, that you're in, you know, an Englishman's home is his castle, as the saying goes. You know, a castle is amazing, but actually it can end up being a bit of a prison. It can be closed in. It's, you know, actually, can you imagine living in a castle? Your heating bills would be like phenomenal, just to get really practical. But, you know, there's something about the practicalities, or something that feels a bit hemmed in, whereas the ring is full of anticipation. So it may be that one of you is wanting to move forwards and the other is not quite in the same space. With the personality triangle, it could be that there is even a third party involved, maybe, for some of you, though not necessarily. We need to draw more cards. Okay, so let's draw more cards. Now we've got this little pack, I always put the cards below in the description and in a comment, so you can find them there. But this particular pack isn't available. It's not a pack that's widely out there. So I'm drawing a card for you each. We're going to look at these. We have the snake. Ah, good. Ooh, okay, and we have the lightning. Thunder spirits. This is like thunder spirit card. Okay. Right. Now, the snake energy. I think that this person is going to shed a skin. So they're growing. And I think possibly the ring, is the person who's initiating the growth. I think the ring is the catalyst. I think if you are the ring, you are the catalyst that's really making this person, the castle, think about stepping out of their safe zone and into something bigger and better. Yeah, you are the catalyst if you're the ring, and if you are the castle, then the person that you are thinking about is a catalyst. They are, excuse me, drawing you out of your comfort zone. And also, I think the ring has arrived in the castle's world kind of unexpectedly, like a bolt out of the blue. I think the ring could be a very different personality. And so whereas this person was trundling along quite happily doing their thing, and then suddenly they meet the ring and it's like, oh, wow, this is like life-changing. But can I really, God, I'd have to step up, I'd have to step out. But there's a desire to, I think, with the snake, actually. Let's look at the connection, and we're going to draw cards around the sort of the karmic, fated, the purpose. I mean, what is the purpose, in fact, of this connection? What's the higher purpose? It's not feeling quite right, that card. What is the higher purpose? There we are. Community. Personal or professional connections. Okay. So this is about creating something, building something here. And look at the boat that's being built here. And with birch trees as well. Birch trees are about a new phase in life. So this could be, for some of you, a personal relationship, as in a soulmate, or it could also be a professional relationship where you work together. The ring, I think, is ready to commit, to make this happen. Let's move it forwards. Let's sign those contracts and work together, or let's, and the castle is more reticent, but also recognizes this phenomenal potential. And if this is personal or intimate, the ring would like to take it further. It's like, come on, let's get to it. we're good. We can do this. It's interesting. Carnelian is an energy of perseverance, of really getting going and keeping going, of making something happen. I'm actually just going to move the cards around because I'm going to draw your tarot cards, and I know that I'm going to need a little bit more space. So let's put these cards a little closer together, which is sort of interesting that I'm pulling you closer together. Let's draw your tarot cards. Let's ask, where's this connection going? We'll draw some cards here, and then we'll also ask about the kind of fated purpose, the destiny element. Kindly ask, where is this connection going? Okay, and now could we please ask about the fated element of this, the sort of the karmic destiny, where is this? What's this about? What's the purpose? What's the higher purpose of this relationship? Let's see what we have. Okay, so 9 of Swords. Where's this connection going? We've got 9 of Swords followed by 9 of Pentacles. Okay, this is going to emerge. This is going to be, I think you're going to get over the hiccups. And when I say hiccups, the kind of hiccups you get when a snake needs to, to shed its skin. A snake needs to shed its skin. Yeah, look at that. You've got the Tower. Oh, this is gorgeous. Okay, so 9 of Swords, 9 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups. Yeah, you're going to get there. If you are the ring and you're thinking, is this ever going to happen? Yeah, absolutely. But look at the lightning spirit. Yeah. And the two, oh, this is so sweet. We have the Two of Cups, and then we have the Seven of Swords. Look at the way being shown, the moonlight coming in. Oh, this is definitely going somewhere. So whether this is a personal or a business connection, if you are the ring and you're worrying about the castle, you're feeling like this is never going to happen, this is going to emerge. I think what will happen, a bit like a snake shedding its skin, it will happen suddenly. It's almost like, I think the castle has to make up their own mind. If you are the castle, then you'll, I hope, connect with this. If this is resonating with you, you kind of got to, it's like it's your choice. It's got to be your choice. It can't be, you're not going to be pushed into this, you know, and rightly so. It needs to be your choice. It's like you've got to wriggle around a bit and then make that decision. It's like, do you know what? I want that ring. You know, this is what's going to happen. It's like, do you know what? I want that ring. This is what I want. I think initially there could be sort of a period of almost, and this may be where you're at the moment, of sort of worrying. Is it ever going to happen? Will it happen? Is this going to move forwards? But with the birch trees, you know, we've got the new. We've got a new phase of life coming in. It's almost as though you can, I'm hearing with this boat here, this canoe, sink or swim. I think part of the karmic connection is that sort of, it's almost like that recognition that two are better than one. You know, that no man is an island. Or that, you know, a community effort is better than a singular effort. So, you know, for the castle, if this is a working connection or a community connection, it will be like, you know, the castle debating whether to really commit to a community group or commit to a working project. But actually, when they do, what's really interesting with the castle, when this person commits, they commit. But they've got to get there in their own time. They can't be pressured, or they're going to sort of defend like a castle wall. But I do think just because the ring is ready, so I think there's going to be a little bit of sort of, not exactly heartache, but kind of wondering if this is right, wondering if this is going to happen, probably on both sides, with the ring thinking, am I wasting my time, sort of trying to invest in this because it may not happen. And, you know, this person just doesn't seem to be moving forwards. And the castle thinking, do I really want to commit to somebody when you know, I'm quite happy as I am. This has been working. But the moment will come when it will change radically. It's almost as though barriers will come down with the Tower card. And I think the connection will be there. It really, really will be there. And with the Seven of Swords, you know, choices will then be made. Choices can be made, but I think the breakthrough will come. Let's look a bit more at the sort of fated purpose. Oh, this is gorgeous. Look at this. So we've got Three of Cups. We've got the Sun. We've got the Knight of Wands. Oh, this is amazing. We've got the King of Cups. We've got Judgment. We've got the Ten of Wands. Gosh, and then you've got the Six of Wands. Wow, this is really big success, visibility. Okay, I think that there is actually something that you can do together. I suspect, even if this is, whether this is personal or professional, even if it's a personal relationship, I think you might work together. I just feel that there's, two hands are better than one, or, you know, many hands makes light work. I think this is about achieving something. There's something creative. With the Judgment card, look at the way she's liberated. The Ten of Wands is ultimately a card that is searching for liberation, searching to not be alone. It's like the very essence of this reading, the purpose it's almost like the karmic fated purpose and destiny of this connection is the recognition that we are part of a bigger picture. We're all connected, that we're not supposed to live in isolation. We're not supposed to work in isolation. And as a karmic connection, whether this is intimate and personal or it's professional, that we can collaborate. When we work together, we can do stuff. When we sing on the same page, hence the personality triangle, you're overcoming areas that where there could have been difference. You're overcoming stuff, so you are, it's like you're overcoming differences. You are literally collaborating. Hence the triangle. It's like you bring people together, you work together. People don't work in isolation, and this is very successful. So if this is a business partnership, whether you are the castle or the ring, this has a fantastic future. An absolutely fantastic future. Because this is, as I said, the ring is the catalyst. So much more can be achieved. And if you are working together on a project, the project you'll rise to success. And the reason you rise to success is because you work together, you collaborate. Many hands makes light work. If let's say the ring is somebody who's going to excel, if this was a personal relationship, it's kind of like you excel because, the castle is behind you. The castle is your rock. And with that full commitment, personally, you're free to step up and be the biggest, best person ever that you can be. So everything, that the destiny, the karmic, fated purpose is almost at a level of soul, being able to come together, to collaborate and to put something into the world in a way, whether that is literally support, one of you supporting. If it's one of you supporting, I suspect the castle is the rock. The castle could even be the resources that underpin the ring. The ring is wanting that commitment, that contract, and the castle can deliver this, be the rock, be the solid foundation upon which the ring can then rise. But the castle's also got to make their mind up and be ready to make that commitment. Wow. Persevere. Carnelian is, I always think this is a stone that it does what it says on the tin. It will get you to the finish line. You can succeed. That's what this is all about. It's got a lovely 6 of Wands energy as an outcome, but also very much a kind of what I would call a 9 and 10 of Wands energy, as in we can succeed, we can do this, we can overcome anything, we can get to the finish line, we can sort of liberate ourselves from burden, we can do this. And that's the energy. It's kind of like shifts from the 9 and 10 of Wands. It's got very wand-like energy, that strength to being able to sort of reach a space where, you're moving to the page into the Knight of Wands. You make it happen, and then up to the Queen and King. It's just got a magnificent energy, and I think that's very much why you're coming together. Really, 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 this is a relationship of mutual collaboration in whatever context that is. Wow, this is really exciting. Keep us posted. If this is resonating with you, don't forget to subscribe and press the little bell icon. That really does help the channel. Letting people know about the readings here really does help the channel, helps me to keep putting free stuff into the world. So thank you so much for being here. If you are enjoying the reading, do please give it the thumbs up. And my beautiful souls, tons and tons and tons of love. Pile 3, welcome to your reading. Now you have the blue calcite and also the 11th path, the Fool, leap of faith, freedom, trust. Now I have a really strong feeling for some of you, which is going to be a bit bizarre because we're asking about the future of a connection, almost as if for some of you maybe you haven't even met this person yet, which is interesting. I'm not sure where that is coming through for perhaps for some of you, not others, but clearly. Let's find out more. Now we're going to use your significator card as the energy that sits between you. And we're going to draw 2 cards initially just to represent you both. So if you find that you are resonating with one more than the other, then that's probably your card. If you feel that you could be both or they could be both, it may be that something is mirrored in you. But I'm going to draw those 2 cards first. So I'm seeing this for one of you, this for the other. Okay, so we have Thanatos. Wow, this is a powerful one. And we have the Mentor. Gosh, these are big, big, big cards. Gosh, no wonder it is a leap of faith. Freedom, trust. Ooh, this is like dynamic. Okay, right. Let us draw a couple more cards. Beautiful souls, I always list all the cards below the in the description and in a comment as well. But these particular ones are not available, just so you know. So if you were looking for them, just to say you're not going to be able to find them. I'm seeing this one here. Let's have a look at these cards. What is the energy between you? Okay, so you have the totem. Thanatos has the totem. And, oh, you have the hand. The Mentor has the hand. So, well, you could be Thanatos. You could be the Mentor. Right, the Mentor is, oh gosh, the Mentor is giving a helping hand here. That's coming across really clearly. And look, even in Thanatos, we can see the hands here in the middle. Okay, I'm just going to draw a card now to check in on almost like what's the purpose, the fated destiny of this connection. What is the fated destiny of this connection? Archangel Raphael, love, healing, miracles. Wow. I think in this connection, the Mentor is really helping Thanatos. I think literally giving a helping hand. Well, we're going to draw tons more cards here. You know, curiously enough, I wonder if it's a mutual. I've got a hand here and hands here. I am wondering whether actually you help each other in very different ways and on very different levels. I think there's a mutual exchange here, a mutual love, a mutual healing. There's something about the coming together that is really quite significant. I'm hearing lots of noise in the room next door. I think they're having a major spring clean. I wonder if that's part of, I don't know if the microphone's picking that up, but I wonder if that's also connected in some way to your reading. Like a real turnout, a real spring clean, there's something almost between you both that is really, really fresh and new, and this leap of faith, this freedom, this trust. You're coming together because I think you heal each other, actually. You're coming from very different places, but I think you heal each other. And I think that's part of the destiny and the karma of this connection. Whatever this is, whether it's a friendship, whether it's an intimate love relationship, whether it's a working alliance, I think you fix each other or you heal each other or you... there's definitely something coming through here in that way. I'm going to draw some tarot cards for you, and I'm going to draw some cards here and ask about the future of this connection. And then I'm going to draw some more cards to find out more about the sort of karmic nature, the fated destiny and purpose. So let's ask first of all about the future of this connection. May we kindly ask about the future of this connection for pile 3, please. All of those. And may we now kindly ask about the purpose of this connection. What is the fated purpose or the destiny, the karmic element of this connection, please? May we kindly ask about this. Okay. Right, let's look at the future of this connection first. So we have the 4 of Cups. Right, and we have the Eight of Cups. Ah, okay. Yeah, you are, this is life-changing in terms of you help each other to like get out of a rut, to move beyond something, to, excuse me while I'm fiddling with your cards, but I just want that to sit on top so we can really see it. Yeah, I think you help each other to move beyond something. You're feeling stuck. We've got the Six of Cups, so there's sort of nostalgia, there's history here. I think you help each other to literally weave a different web, to, we've got Three of Pentacles, to change your story, to weave a different future. I think you move through and beyond something. Yeah, look at this. You've got strength, you've got justice, and then finally, oops, I put it in the reverse position, my apologies. You've got justice, and finally you have death and rebirth. Absolutely. The fate of this connection is that you assist each other in moving away from, out of a situation where you have maybe been lacking in trust, or struggling, or restricted, or stuck, or bored, or unhappy. You literally offer one another, and I think it is mutual. I think it's equal. It feels like a miracle. Wherever you are sitting, it's like you spring clean each other's worlds. You offer a vision of a different future, and because of the mutual support and connection, that's exactly what you can do. You can heal, and definitely trust issues. There are issues of trust, and there are issues of freedom. It's possible that the mentor, I think, has issues of trust. I think the mentor has learned to guide themselves. I feel like the mentor almost has a bit of the archetype here, the energy in this reading of almost like Chiron, the wounded healer, someone who's very good at healing everybody else, guiding everybody else, but can't always heal themselves. And there's a profound lack of trust there. I think with Thanatos is possibly feeling quite trapped. There's a world that has a bit like an insect on a web. Tangled. I think Thanatos has been tangled in something, possibly could have been suffering from depression, or, there's something here that's got an entanglement, and the mentor, I think, is more around the trust. So this is Thanatos is trying to break away, to be freed from something, and the mentor is trying to find trust. And I think this is what you find in each other. So it is mutual. The growth is mutual, the miracle is mutual, but I think it is different for you each. You bring a different quality each to this. But this path of the Fool, the new beginning, is healing, because it fixes your mutual sort of issues almost, really, I suppose. And, there's nothing wrong with having issues. I add that, I think most people do. But this is a rebirth. This is, I think it goes back historically for both of you. And this is weaving a different story. It's like writing your history, overcoming stuff, acknowledging your vulnerabilities to one another. And sort of bringing things back into balance with justice, and calling that shot, being prepared to take a risk. Let's have a look at the destiny, the karmic element of it, although I think that's coming through really clearly already. So we have Queen of Swords. Let me just put this card here. We've got room and space for that? Yeah. So we have Queen of Swords. We've got the World. Wow. I think this is a connection that helps you to overcome, like, limiting beliefs. It's the stuff of your mind. To view life differently, to change your perspectives, to change your thinking. To realise that it's like stepping into a space of possibility, moving from impossibility to possibility. We have the Ten of Swords, which is a lovely card. I love the Ten of Swords in this pack, because it's very much walking to a new future. We have the Seven of Pentacles. So this is choosing. It's like learning, I almost want to say learning how to manifest a successful relationship. Now, whether this is in friendship, whether it's in love, whether it's a colleague, this is all about manifesting, like learning that you can manifest a relationship that gives you what you actually need. You don't have to repeat patterns. You can heal. And learning that you can do it through the power of your mind. And you kind of, it's like you teach each other. We have the Magician. We have the Six of Wands. And then we have the Six of Swords, which is a really interesting card to finish on. Again, you teach one another to overcome the context of this. I would almost say the karmic, fated, soul growth element of this connection is that you teach each other that problems can be resolved and it's not the end of the world. You learn through being together that if that a problem is just something that you can focus on and you can sort out, rather than something that, because you can support each other, that you can work your way through difficulties rather than feeling like a problem is the end of the world. It becomes a space of possibility. I think you've both had experiences of hurt, of wounding in very different ways. I feel like Thanatos has been tangled in maybe some codependent type relationships, hence the inhibited freedom. The mentor has been tangled in relationships that take more than they give. There's a similarity, although a slightly, slight nuances that are different. And therefore feels they can't trust or they've been let down badly. But this is a coming together. This is, literally, this is the purpose of this connection, is that you learn that a problem isn't a crisis, it's simply a space of possibility and that it can be overcome. I think this is terrific. It's such a healing energy. It really, really is. I think, my pile 3, I'm going to use another pack of cards and just ask more about how it emerges. What is the future of this connection? I can see exactly why you're coming together now and the purpose of it. I said right at the start as well, I felt for some of you that maybe you hadn't met this person. I now wish to sort of slightly rephrase that. And what I'd like to say is, I don't think you've ever met anyone like this before. I think your relationships, both of you, have, whether you are the mentor or Thanatos, I think, and you could even switch between the two. There are common elements in you both. But I don't think you've ever had a relationship that was, either of you, that wasn't a sort of a tie or a drain. I mean, this is like drains and radiators. When two radiators come together, they feed each other. But if a radiator meets a drain, well, the drain will drain the radiator. It doesn't, and however much heat or energy the radiator puts out, it'll never be enough. I think you are both radiators. I think you've both experienced drains who have been very attracted to you because you're so, you're able to give whatever you give. And now, and indeed there may be family patterns, particularly with Thanatos. I think there are family patterns here that need to be broken. There could be, almost like in your genetic family lineage, certain patterns of behaviour that are incredibly disempowering and unhelpful. Hence the tangling. And with the mentor, I think you were sort of almost born into a family. You could have been a young carer, so you've grown up being the one that looks after everybody else without looking after your own needs. So this is, it's such an interesting reading. But let's now ask about the future of this connection, where it might go. May we kindly ask for more information about the future of this connection, please. May we ask for more information about the future of this connection. Okay, we have the Five of Pentacles. Oh, look at this. We have the Five of Pentacles. Where shall I put these cards? Right across the middle. Five of Pentacles. We have the Eight of Wands. We have the card of Justice showing up again. We have the Ten of Wands. And we also have, let's move these along. We have the Eight of Cups. Okay. Right. Showing up again here. Look, Eight of Cups. Yeah. Right. Okay. Now what I'm going to say, I think, is I don't know if this relationship has a really, really long-term future. I'm not saying it wouldn't for some of you, because you could walk into a future together if you chose. But I feel that you've come together more with purpose now. It's like the work to be done is now. You're bringing each other back into balance. You're helping each other to move through and beyond the burdens, the challenges. Because the Eight of Wands is quite a fast card. You know, I'm seeing with the Five of Pentacles, we've got an apple that's cut in half. It's growing old. It's wilting. So I feel that this might actually be quite a fleeting connection, but it is a connection that the purpose of it is that it brings you healing and it creates a new beginning for you. It creates the space of a new beginning where you can approach your whole lives from a fresh perspective. Now, I'm not saying that this couldn't be a united connection where you do, with the Eight of Cups, you know, walk off into a future together. But the cards are kind of indicating for me that this is a relationship which has come together with the sole purpose of healing, so that you then both you're both sitting then in a space of fresh new beginnings. This is the energy of that Fool, of the 11th path. You know, it's that you can now launch fresh, new, innocent, reinvigorated, revitalized into a new future, free of the issues from the past that have caused you difficulty, free from these. You've come together to process these experiences, to work through them together, to realize that you can, to create balance for you both within relationships, to discover that you can have a relationship that has a mutuality of giving and receiving. You don't have to be burdened. You can be free from things. You can be flexible. You can be adaptable, like the fox. You develop resilience from this connection, because trust is there, isn't it? If we come through a connection, and even if it doesn't really work, in the long run, it brought us exactly what we needed in order to overcome and heal something. And I think that is what I'm seeing here. I feel this is a connection that comes together very, very, very successfully. I'm not saying you wouldn't remain friends for life and remain in touch, but the purpose of this connection is for you both to overcome your respective difficulties and know and free yourselves from those challenges of the past. And then you are free to move forwards, launch into the new, fresh, bright, innocent, young, magnificent. So, that is what I'm seeing here. Wow, pile 3, these are very, very, very interesting readings. They really are. If this is resonating with you, thank you so, so much for joining me today. And thank you for liking and sharing. Yeah, do give me the thumbs up if this is resonating. Thank you for sharing and letting people know about the channel. It really helps me to continue to put free stuff into the world. Thank you so much for subscribing. And don't forget to subscribe and press the little bell icon as well if you want to make sure you never miss a reading. And lastly, thank you all who've been checking out my amazingly huge, monumental, in-depth tarot course. It is a real journey of soul evolution, indeed quite a healing journey, people are saying. People who have joined and been working with me as I'm creating it have been really saying that it's really life-changing. So if it's of interest to you, do check it out. It's currently available at a significant discount, actually. So beautiful souls, tons and tons of love.